So I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was in 2011. Yeah, I think it was in 2011. Arizona was doing this. Wait, I think Texas and Southern California also were doing this crackdown of immigration, people coming from the border from Mexico, and if a police official questioned the validity of your residency in the states, they could ask you for your paperwork and just to make sure you go through the proper channels of immigration here in the states. Um, so I'm Filipino, right? But when I don't shave, I kind of look Mexican, and I was fairly young back then. I mean, I was young back then, and so I just had stubble, and it just grew like a mustache, and so I definitely look like an Asian Mexican almost. So I go to visit Arizona. It's been like a year and a half. My mom lives in Prescott, and that's northern Arizona. And I'm gonna go visit some friends down in Phoenix. And so I'm trying to drive down to Phoenix from my mom's house, and it's like an hour and a half away. And it's just like long roads. And if any of you guys have driven through that area, you know how it is. Yeah, there's a lot of downhill portions. It's super rocky. It's nice though. It's very scenic. And there's certain areas where you can just coast, and you can easily do like 80, 90 miles an hour. Well, I have a lead foot, and so I'm usually speeding, and I know I probably shouldn't. And I'm going past this bend, and all of a sudden I see lights in the back, police lights, and I hear the siren, and I get pulled over. So the cop comes up to me, and at this moment I'm freaking out. So the first thing I try to do is I try to get my military ID, because we think that it's going to get us out of a ticket. So the cop approaches, I roll down the window. He's like, "Son, do you know why I pulled you over?" I don't know why they always ask us that, because they know why we're getting pulled over. And I was like, "No, officer." He tells me, he's like, "You're going pretty fast down that hill." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I might have been, because I wasn't checking my speedometer, and I wasn't braking because I didn't want to ride my brakes." And he's like, "Well, you were going about 95 in a 70." And I was like, "Oh crap." And he's like, "Can I get your license and registration?" And so I give him my military ID, and he takes it from me, and he's like, "I need your license, son." And I was like, oh, okay. So I give him my license, and he looks at me, and he's like, just this weird like pondering glare, like this dude's probably gonna ask me some strange question. And at this time I had forgotten about the whole immigration thing, and that they can ask us about our papers. So he goes to check me. He comes back, so he goes back to his car, runs the plates, does whatever, like looks me up in the database, and then he comes back, and he's like, "Do you have your paperwork, son?" And I was like, "What do you mean my paperwork, sir? I just gave it to you, my license, registration, and insurance." And he's like, "No." And he's like, you from down south?" And I was like, "No, I was born in the Philippines." And then his whole demeanor changed, and he's like, "The Philippines? Well, my brother married this Filipino woman, and she makes the best food, like lumpia, then pancit." And I was like, "Yeah, that's right." And I try to feed off of that, because all of a sudden his demeanor changed, and I do not want this ticket. And I was like, "Yeah, we make really good food. Us Filipinos, like, that's three things we like to do, is eat, drink, and karaoke." And he was like, "That's right." It's like, "Very good, lady." And I'm just getting him amped up, and he's like, "Okay, well, look at this." He's like, I caught you speeding, but I'm gonna let you off with a warning. Next time when they ask for ID, just give me your driver's license. We don't care if you're in the military." And I was like, "Okay." And he's just super. I don't know what to say. He just went like full 180, from almost deporting my ass to just telling me how much he loves Filipino food. So he gives me back my license and my registration and my insurance. And then last thing he says is, "Hey, be careful driving. I got a few more people down the road stationed up there." And I was like, thanks for letting me know. And he's like, "Yep, you have a good day." So I drive off, and I call my mom, and I was like, "Mom," I was like, "what the hell?" what's going on with the whole like immigration thing? Like, are they deporting Mexicans? And my mom's like, yeah, they're deporting Mexicans if they catch them without any kind of paperwork. And I was like, I almost just got deported. And she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, I just got pulled over by a cop because he thought I was a Mexican. And then when I told him I was Filipino, he just went off and told me how good, Filipino food is. So, the lesson I learned there was when I go on leave, when I'm down south, I'm gonna make sure I shave.